Bradley Doig, Business Development Director from Petmin, joins us to discuss plans to unbundle its iron ore assets. Big North American deal. Share price moving up very nicely in anticipation of this, Brad. If you go back a couple of months, it's gone from around 170 and today trading 245.
Yep.
Just unpack this for us. There's an organization called the North Atlantic Iron Corporation, of which Petmin owns about a third.
Yeah.
What does that do?
Well, what we looked at the American market from a energy cost perspective. Currently, when we looked at the business, we said, what is the competitive advantage that doing business in America will offer us? And really, what we found was it's the lowest cost energy producer in the world at the moment, with the advent of natural gas.
Mm-hmm. Fracking.
Fracking.
Yeah.
So we looked at this and we said, okay, what can we do? What can we beneficiate in that environment? And potentially looking at low-cost inputs, upgrading them and selling them into that market. Because we also believe that America's got to reindustrialize itself anyway based on this natural gas phenomenon, and that there's going to be substantial reinvestment in their own infrastructure. So we sort of took the focus of the Eastern Hemisphere, if you want, and looked at the Western Hemisphere. Mm-hmm. So what we've done is we looked at a business which can actually take low-grade inputs and manufacture high-quality pig iron. American market requires about 5 million tons of pig iron a year. Principally, they're imported from Brazil and the Ukraine and Russia. We believe that with this project, we can be at the bottom end of that cost curve in Canada and the US, supplying up to about 1 million tons of pig iron.
Fascinating, because Sasol's making a $21 billion bet.
Correct.
Half its market cap.
Absolutely.
In Louisiana. Where exactly is North Atlantic Iron?
Well, we've looked at a number of sites, 13 in all. We've honed it down to basically 2 at the moment. And within the next couple of weeks, we're hopefully going to make an announcement as to our final site. Where we're going to locate our first plant. And that's all been predicated on a massive exercise around logistics and the movement of materials. And in addition, which is quite a phenomenon for us, coming from where we are, is how much government support is available for projects of this nature, where you're creating jobs. You're looking at, and especially in the areas, the old Rust Belt of the US, where they have gone through some tough times.
It's interesting you say that, because Sasol's getting a 10-year tax holiday from the state of Louisiana, plus $2 billion in tax incentives. What kind of incentives? Obviously, it's a different scale, your project. Yeah. What kind of incentives are likely?
Well, we've looked, currently on offer are a lot of tax incentives, a lot of tax holidays, up to 10 years. Funnily enough, they also offer government guarantee on your funding for your capex. So they'll write a guarantee for 25–30% of your capital requirements. They'll even take an equity position in a project. Just depends who you're talking to.
Fascinating. The transaction today, though, is that you're unbundling your stake in North Atlantic Iron Corp. It's going into a company called Muskrat Minerals.
Yes.
Muskrat.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be listed separately. Muskrat is on the JSE as a secondary listing, as well as in Canada. Why are you doing it this way? Why not just hold on to the stake?
Well, we looked at the asset, and I think what we wanted to is show our shareholders the value of geographically diversifying into a different commodity suite as well. So we've looked at this. Muskrat effectively are shareholders and our partner there. So it's effectively a consolidation of everybody's shareholding in the North Atlantic Iron Corporation. Muskrat will be rebranded North Atlantic Iron Corporation. And basically, once we've done that, our partner shareholders will get their shares distributed to them, as we will do to our shareholder base. And we think this is a much better way of showing value and enhancing where this project is in terms of development life cycle.
So if I understand correctly, North Atlantic Iron Corporation's got pig iron. Does it mine pig iron at the moment?
It has a resource in Canada, but what we've done is we've looked at alternative inputs. So what the beauty of the process we've designed is we can take low-cost iron ore fines or low-quality iron ore fines from different sources and actually produce pig iron, not only from our own resource. So we're looking at this as a sort of a flexible business model at this point.
And then you're looking to put a plant somewhere in the United States to support the reindustrialization of the US.
Absolutely.
Based on cheap gas.
Absolutely. That plant will be probably located either in Canada or in the Rust Belt of North America. We're deciding on the final site, as I said earlier.
But why not hold on to your shares? Is it part of a bigger play then? That you'd like to unbundle to shareholders?
Yeah. We'd like to see, for us it's about, Petmin's a small company, and I think we have a reasonable track record of trying to create value for our shareholders. We've bought and sold a couple of operations, we've turned them around. We think this is a great way to show we've got to a point. We're going to spend $25 million of shareholders' funds on this. We'd like our shareholders to see that there is value being created. And then this business must stand on its own 2 feet. I think once the BFS is completed, we think we've got a very good project here. easily fundable with assistance of the local governments that we've been talking to. So I think, and that'll show, you know, in reality a much higher valuation than what we'd currently get in the current portfolio of assets. If you think about, we've got a South African risk profile, you know, and you know, we don't want that to be negatively affected or positively affected by what we're doing in the US and
I'm
Canada.
sure it'll be positively affected at the moment, no doubt. Bradley Doig is with Petmin. He's the business development director there. Well.